Clickbait has been absolutely insane in Fortnite Season 4, and while our videos sometimes push the line, at least we're not pretending Thanos' gauntlet is a real weapon this season. Or how about the myth that if you boogie bomb a shark, it starts dancing and looking absolutely hilarious? These are 15 Fortnite myths that we're about to put to the test. And if you don't like this video in the next 5 seconds, the live event this season will get delayed, or something like that, I don't know. Anyways, onto our first myth. If you kill Midas as Mystique, will you get his golden gun ability? So Mystique is one of the most interesting skins in Fortnite because, if you didn't know, her built-in emote lets you disguise yourself as the last player you killed. Basically, you steal their skin. It's so cool, but here's the thing. We wanted to put this to the test and see how far this actually goes. I was thinking stuff outside the box and we came up with an idea. If we killed the golden Midas and took his skin, would we also take his abilities? Because like you guys know, players who have the golden Midas skin equipped always get an inventory full of gold camo guns. So will it work as Mystique? Well, I jumped in game, tried it for myself, and yes, it does indeed work. Looks like Midas isn't dead after all, confirmed 100%, oh my god! Well anyways, yeah, myth confirmed.
Turn this
Can you rocket ride Dr. Doom's arcane gauntlets? Alright, so it's pretty much become tradition nowadays in Fortnite to try and rocket ride like every single item that comes out. Back in Season 3, we tried rocket riding a flare gun, and cha-ching ba-bing, it worked. Also, I don't know what that means, but it kind of sounded like it fit there. Anyway, we even found out you could rocket ride mini shields. So of course, the myth for Season 4 is that you can apparently rocket ride Dr. Doom's arcane gauntlets. Sounds like a stretch. I mean, after all, they work very differently from something you could throw or shoot from a gun. The myth says that you must have a friend stand in front of you on a ramp and jump as you fire the gauntlet at them. Pretty much the exact same as a regular rocket ride. So naturally, we set to work to try and get it to happen, jumping in a match and trying over and over again. I mean, we even attempted it for an entire game, but it just wasn't working for us. We were on the verge of busting this myth, but we turned to the internet and found Sword John Boy finally figuring out, confirming this myth as real. Does the Midas Flopper exist right now in Season 4? So the next myth is that there is an acclaimed fish in the game right now that nobody has caught yet. It's called the Midas Flopper, and this thing apparently makes your entire inventory full of legendary weapons and items. We already know from leaks and data miners that this fish is indeed real, but the myth is that you could catch the Midas Flopper right now in game. Yet, there are literally 0 clips on social media of anyone actually catching the Midas fish. Not one, except for Dante, but that's just a fish being messed with in the game files to look like the Midas fish, so you ain't gonna fool us, sir. But just to make sure, we tried probably for 2 hours, no luck. All you can find instead is the brand new legendary Vendetta fish that dropped in the 14.10 update. So while the Midas fish isn't in game, it's currently in the files with a spawn rate of 0%. Which means Epic can activate it at any time, but right now though, this myth is busted. Can you lure henchmen into the rifts? The best thing about rifts returning with Season 4 is that we could finally begin experimenting with them again. So, for the next myth, we have one that claims you could actually lure henchmen and Stark robots into a nearby rift. It doesn't say what happens or if you could kill them with it, so we booted up a game to try it ourselves. So we gathered a Stark robot and made it follow us until we made it to the rift. In accordance with the myth, it did indeed go straight through, although we decided to follow it through the rift and, well, this happened. So yeah, they just fall down super slow and don't deploy a glider. I mean, they don't even take fall damage. So yeah, this myth has been confirmed. Can you save your down teammates with a rift? Alright, so an insane strategy that people have been using since Chapter 2 began was picking up your down teammate at Steamy Stacks and using the big chimney boys to escape the fight and glide away while still carrying them. But because we haven't had rifts all chapter, and carrying teammates didn't exactly exist in Chapter 1, Season 4 is the first opportunity we've gotten to try something that wasn't a chimney. So, what happens if you pick up your teammate and go through a rift? Well, for starters, you can't actually yeet a player through the rift as they'll just pass right through. So, Mr. Top 5 Gaming Editor Man, please big red X on screen with an annoying buzz. That one's busted. Well, you can actually walk through a rift while carrying a player on your back, and it'll take them with you for an easy glide away to safety. So no more worrying about where to go, just look around for a rift, and if you can't find one, well, I guess have fun hitting the Q button again. This is definitely not a myth, so consider it confirmed. Can you breach the sky barrier with a porta fort? I love the way I said that. Rifts aren't the only new addition in Season 4, as an old friend has been vaulted, the porta fort. This thing is finally back in the loot pool, and you know what that means, myth-busting time. This time around, the myth is that you can apparently breach the sky barrier with a porta fort. You do this by building all the way up to the barrier itself, and when you can't build any higher, just get out your porta fort and throw it down on your build. We went and tried this, and it completely disappeared. Like it never existed, the porta fort just breaks and vanishes as fast as it is created. So unfortunately, Epic considered this when bringing it back and made it so, no, you cannot break the sky barrier with a porta fort. This myth stays a myth. Busted. Will Stark robots protect you from Doom henchmen? With the new Stark robots for Season 4 making their way into our lives, it's time to wonder what would happen if you mix them with the henchmen at Doom's domain. Previous AI enemies like the Stormtroopers and the Marauders were different to the Stark bots in one specific way. You probably know by now, but you can actually hack the Stark bots and make them join your team. So, what do we do with this information? Well, this next myth claims that Stark robots will actually protect you from Doom's henchmen. I had to try it for myself, so we took 3 hacked bots all the way across the map over to Doom's domain and let ourselves get attacked by the henchmen. What happened? Unsurprisingly, the hacked bots began to fight the other AI. Battle of the bots. But yeah, myth confirmed. Can you fish with Thor's hammer? Yeah, with Season 4, one of the most frustrating things about the season so far was that you could go to one of the fishing spots and blow it up. Like I said, you could use a crash pad, boat, shockwave, gauntlets, I mean anything, and it would give you a ton of rare and epic rarity fish. You could just abuse this and get all the fish you need in 30 seconds, so if it works with all those items, why not the new mythic items? Good question, so we went to go and answer it. We got Thor's Mjolnir strike and went to a fishing spot. Naturally, we threw down the spike straight on the spot and it just didn't work. Unfortunately, this myth is busted. However, in testing, we learned you can use Iron Man's repulsors on his gauntlets to fish and it works like a charm. So keep that in mind. Although I will give you a tip, with the fishing nerf, you could only get tin cans and small fries from these spots now. So it's back to the booty loot. Can you combo Iron Man's gauntlets with crash pads to go friggin' flying? So yeah, there's a myth going around that Iron Man's repulsors can actually combo with crash pads in an insane way. The myth claims that if you throw a crash pad down and then use Iron Man's repulsors to float down onto it, you'll fly a ridiculously far distance. So we went to a custom lobby, got the repulsors, got some crash pads, tried to do the trick. Surprisingly, it works incredibly well and is really easy to do. So consider this myth confirmed. And Epic Games, please don't patch this. It's such a fun trick and useful. Can you blow up a fishing hole with a gas canister? Alright, similar to the other myth that claims you can fish with Thor's hammer, this myth says that you could throw a gas can into the water, shoot it, and it gives you the same effect. Although like that Thor hammer myth, we tried this one over and over with different timing. Unfortunately, it does not work and your fishing hole will not give you any items. Like the other one, consider this busted. Will gas cans explode if they're empty? Alright, while we're on the topic of gas cans, this myth claims that when you empty out a gas can, it will still be explosive, but there's no gas in it. Now, if Fortnite was realistic, then it probably wouldn't let you blow up an empty gas can. But we're playing Fortnite, so here I find myself doing it for some reason. Anyway, if you're trying to already guess what happens and you guess that it exploded, you're 100% right. Even if the gas can is empty, it still explodes when you shoot it. This myth has been confirmed, and Fortnite has been confirmed unrealistic. Can you boogie bomb Groot's ball or Silver Surfer's board? With Season 4, boogie bombs are more annoying and yet more useful than ever now. You can actually get people thrown outside their cars and choppas by hitting them with a boogie bomb, but this theory states that you could do the same thing for mythic items too, like Groot's baller or Silver Surfer's board. So we tried a boogie bomb on the Groot ball and it gave the same effect as throwing it at a car. Throw it out of the ball and began dancing. We also tried it on the Silver Surfer board, and instead of making them dance or glide, it makes them fall right off the board. Pretty cool. Like the other ones, confirmed. Can you use henchman chests as Mystique? So while you can steal Midas's ability as Mystique, it also begs the question, can you get the henchman disguise abilities without even disguising? We killed the henchmen and impersonated them as Mystique, and here's what we found. So no, you can't open henchman chests, doors, or anything like that as Mystique. Other henchmen will also still notice you as a player, although you might trick other players into thinking you're a henchman still. I mean, think about it. Considering Epic Games is against pay-to-win skins, makes sense that the myth is busted, but we're gonna have a conversation with Laserbeam on that pay-to-win skins thing, because he's been up to some stuff. Can you boogie bomb a shark? So you could boogie bomb cars, choppas, mythic abilities, and more. And yes, I have been having a lot of fun doing that. But there's one thing new to Chapter 2 which also might be able to get boogie bombed. The sharks. These guys don't have arms or legs, so they can't dance, but maybe boogie bombing them will do something. I don't know, we tried it, and this happens. So yeah, the shark just stalls out and will stop attacking you for a couple seconds. So it's a valid way to escape a shark if you're on low health and have no ability, but man, I mean, come on, Epic Games, I was expecting a dancing shark. Disappointingly, this myth is confirmed. And our final myth, will the Thanos Gauntlet from Endgame become a mythic weapon? So with all the new mythic abilities coming in the game, including Iron Man's repulsors, Cap's shield coming, a lot of people are saying that the Thanos Gauntlet might be returning to the game. Considering it was a part of the game once and we're in a Marvel season, people would love to see it return. However, with this theme being about Galactus, there is zero evidence in the game files to suggest it's returning. This myth is, of course, busted. But what's not busted is you clicking on screen right now to check out this awesome video. Of course, it's been Tommy, and you're watching Top 5 Gaming.